Thanks, Sara.
Thanks, Wendy. Yes, I don't know about you, but my head is already filled with lots of thoughts, ideas, things to think about and take away, and people I want to kind of talk to. So apologies, I'm just going to add to that now. Perfect. Technology works, which is the first thing. So thank you to the organisers for the invitation to speak today. And I'm going to touch on a wee bit about the Alliance's work and how that kind of fits into the health and social care landscape as it is at the moment. So just to introduce myself, I am Sara Redmond, and I am the Programme Manager for the Self-Management Partnership and Practice Programme at the Health and Social Care Alliance. So that's the difficult bit out the way. And just to introduce the Alliance for those of you who might not be familiar with us, we're a national third sector intermediary for health and social care, which in other words means we are a voluntary organisation that represents a range of individuals and organisations in their work around health and social care. And at the Alliance we have a vision of how we want the future to look, and that's it on the screen. It's to seek to build a Scotland where disabled people, people with long-term conditions and unpaid carers have a strong voice and can enjoy their right to live well with services and support that puts them at the centre. And since our inception in 2006, we've grown significantly and now have over 880 members, ranging from people with long-term conditions, unpaid carers, disabled people, as well as third sector organisations, large support providers and small volunteer-led community groups, as well as health boards and health and social care professionals who are associate members. And really our work is around championing the role of the third sector and the work that's done there that helps to drive positive change through influencing policy and practice. But importantly, underpinning all of what we do is about, you know, bringing out people's voices and our members, the work our members do to represent the people that they're working with, and their voice to really bring those voices to bear on the major challenges facing Scotland around health and social care. So that kind of theme of voices is going to kind of filter through my presentation and is a really important one for me. So I was thinking when preparing this, kind of what really do I have to contribute to today's learning and to the work around health and social care and the kind of changes taking place. And for me, the Alliance's strength is our connectedness. It's our collective voice, our collective learning, and the way in which we can use that to help influence policy, but importantly influence people to think differently. I think most of us might feel that we are living through a time of change at the moment, and you know the policy frameworks that Shona explored, you know, really set the tone for a rethinking of the way that we do health and social care. Yeah, that is a challenge, and I think you put that well, Shona. It's the how and the who. That's the challenging bit. And at the Alliance, we've established the Health and Social Care Academy as I guess as a cross-sector platform or space to bring together those voices and to bring our collective learning together to help us think through the how and the who. We also use our learning with our members to help turn the concepts that we advocate into change. So kind of, I guess, kind of translating that into the how. And the self-management agenda really gives us an insight into how health and social care can work when we do it differently, when we can focus it around self-management and around the lived experience of people. And I think a fundamental issue that we often have is that we design services through the eyes of professionals, through the eyes of those of us working in the sectors, and maybe less so from the eyes of the people who are using them and whose lives we're trying to change and support. The Self-Management Impact Fund, which the Alliance has been managing, really supports people with long-term conditions and their carers to be leading the way in designing self-management approaches that work for them. Co-production is really at the core of that, and it's provided a really important investment into exploring the how, exploring what that looks like. I know that some of the organisations and projects who've been delivering and supporting some of this work are here today and you know, have some stands and I'm sure will just make themselves visible and will be talking about their work in workshops. And a big part of what we've been doing at the Alliance is trying to help share that learning and share that good practice so that others can learn and that we can tackle some of these problems together. We've established the Self-Management Network really as a learning network to do just that. It's for anyone with an interest in self-management to share their learning, to kind of focus on actually what's worked, why has it worked, and what can others learn and how can we kind of move this on together. And we know that people need access to local community support, and you know, there's lots of evidence about the importance of networks for people's well-being, individually and collectively. And you know, the concept of social capital I've heard mentioned more and more recently, and for me I guess that means, you know, it's the strong bonds that we have, the opportunities for doing things together and the communication that we have, you know, the connectedness that we're here today to talk about. And we've been working with our members and our partners to help explore some of the solutions to that, and as Wendy was saying, Tim's going to follow on and talk a bit about Alice, which is one example of a social and technology innovation just doing just that. There's lots of good work, and just to touch upon a couple of examples, the Dementia Carer Voices project, which is led by Tommy, who's pictured on the screen, has been helping to share the experiences of people who are caring for a loved one with dementia. Their current campaign, You Can Make a Difference, is really just highlighting the importance that all of us can make, that everyone can make, to support people in their lives. This has involved them going out and kind of talking to a range of health and social care staff, you know, students, local authority staff. And at the talks, Tommy shares his experience of caring for his late mum, Joan, and sharing some other experiences of carers who've shared their stories. And Tommy talks about them as love stories. And I think, you know, kind of for me, that's what, you know, Glenn's poem really touched with me, that this is you know, this is about people's whole life. The message from the Dementia Carer Voices project is really simple: be the change you want to see. Wendy mentioned as well that the Link Worker programme, and there's some of the Community Links practitioners are here, and Mark, the programme director, is here as well today and is going to be delivering one of the workshops. And again, that's been exploring, you know, Dr. Webber kind of touched on that as well, just exploring just how primary care can be supported to work in a way that looks at those connections, that helps people to seek and find those community sources of support. The Links Worker programme involves the Community Links practitioners working in 7 GP practices and really you know, working with the primary care teams, and you know, making sure that learning, that knowledge that is so difficult to have about what's around you, what's out there, is sustained, and that there's many points of knowledge in the community about where those sources of support are. And if you want to find out more and you can't make the workshop, you can follow them on Twitter with the hashtag #MakesLinks. Right, the couple of minutes. Okay. we know that people want to use their lived experience to help design, deliver and improve services, and I think that we see that all the time. We see that day to day through the work of our members and through the work particularly of the People-Powered Health and Wellbeing Programme, which Glenn is a member of the reference group who co-produces that programme. And that's been really helping to explore co-production in everyday settings within health and social care. And particularly working with health and social care teams to think about approaches that support co-production, such as personal outcomes, such as asset mapping, such as peer support and peer-based experiences, and there's a workshop on that today if you're interested in that. So just conscious of the time, and I asked Wendy to give me a nudge when I was going to be going over it. So there's a few key messages that I guess I was thinking, these are some of the things that really have hit home to me when thinking about the big task of making these changes, about moving to that kind of green bubble that Karen was talking about. People need to be part of the transformation of health and social care, and that does mean all of us. I think we are all leaders then in that, and all have a role to play. And this transformation will be brought about by us and through our relationships and through the culture that we create. And we see very much that the third sector and communities themselves have a vital contribution to make to this. And it's important that we do understand how to connect in with it, and it's what's great about an event like this is really a chance to focus on exploring the how and the good work that's out there and celebrate in that. And really importantly, lived experience needs to be at the heart of all we do. We need to see this as equal to other forms of knowledge and other forms of evidence. It's to people's lived experience that we're accountable to, and hearing from Glenn, that really struck me. So on that note, I just wanted to end on Kev's story. Kev is not here today, but he was really generous in allowing me to share his story with you. So Kev's not been in employment for over 10 years, and previously he struggled with substance misuse and binge drinking. He was referred by his community psychiatric nurse back in 2013 to Aberdeen Foyer's Impact Project, because he was experiencing chronic anxiety and social isolation, and these were kind of two big things that he was struggling with and wanted some help with. At the point of when he was referred, the CPN was encouraged to come along with him to the foyer, just to help him kind of make that step, which they did. And at that kind of first session, Kev spoke about how his anxiety overwhelmed him and it took over everything. He spoke about his weight. He wasn't happy with that. He wasn't leaving the house. He was drinking a lot of alcohol and eating a lot of unhealthy food, and that had kind of resulted in his weight gaining, and he just felt generally rubbish in himself. So he decided that, having spoken about the different things that the Aberdeen Foyers project could offer him, that he would kind of start, and he would start with something that didn't require him to really talk to anyone too much, and he could kind of keep himself to himself a wee bit. But over the following months, he gradually increased his attendance and became really actively involved in the project, in a whole range of different things. Last year, when they started up an allotment project, the Green Fingers project, Kev said, I'll give it a go, but I don't think I'll be any good at it. But give it a go nonetheless. And 6 months on, he's now the main coordinator for the project, as a key holder. He's responsible for going up and kind of maintaining the plants and things over the weekends. He describes it as his favourite place to be, and he's seen as a really important member of that project group. He's lost over 2 stone in weight by going out to the gym, not to the gym, to his green gym, to his allotment, to his favourite place to be, and kind of describes himself as way too busy at the weekends to waste his time drinking anymore. And I guess that, just finishing, sorry Wendy, just finishing up, there can be barriers to self-management, and that those have been spoken about already. And I think for me the important bit is journeys can take a long time, and everyone's journey is different. But recovery and self-management, those are really important parts of someone's journey. And we need to trust in communities to know how to do this and to support them to do this. And importantly, that bit about hope that Dr. Webber said as well. So thank you very much, and I'll hand over to Tim.